It's time for morning worship at the Park Avenue Missionary Baptist Church.
Good morning, church family. God is so amazing. He's truly awesome. We serve a wonderful God.
So amazing.
It's so amazing.
Your love for me.
Your love for me.
It's so amazing.
It's so amazing.
Your sacrifice
for me.
for every blessing.
For every blessing.
Give unto me.
Give unto me.
For every valley.
For every valley.
You used to stray.
this music ministry a great big amen. Right where you are, we thank God for them who work tirelessly providing the music that we so need. You're so amazing. How many of you know God is amazing? God is amazing. Amen. Listen, we want to certainly thank all of you once again for sharing with us, being with us here in this time of virtual worship. And we are on our way. We are making way to begin our new season, a reopening of the Park Avenue Missionary Baptist Church. And we are on our way. We're looking at, and I hope this will answer anybody's question that may be asked, first Sunday in July. July 5th will be Freedom Sunday, where we'll be able to come back into the house of prayer. And listen, my dears, church will not be the same. It will not look the same. It will not be the same. So we're looking forward to a great new beginning in worship. And certainly we're starting off with our Sunday school hour at 9:15. And then we will begin morning worship at 10:30. So we ask that all of you who are making plans, make arrangements to make it, be here. We want to see your face in the place once again. And we thank God for you for hanging on in there on the outside while we're on the inside. But thank you so much. We're ready to make preparation. But before that, we know next week is Father's Day. And we hope all of you are making great plans for celebrating the many fathers and great fathers in your life. Amen. As you make plans for next Sunday. So one thing for sure, now you have to make reservations or call ahead at some of these restaurants, because I think most of them are at 50% capacity. So you need to make some kind of appointment beforehand, otherwise you're going to be waiting a long time. Because I know you want to take those fathers out to dinner, you want to buy them whatever it is that they want to eat for that day, you want to celebrate them in that way. So please make that happen, and certainly you'll be blessed. Now, I also want to make mention concerning the continued Zoom Sunday School, as well as our church conference-wide prayer and precept on Wednesday. Let us continue to call in, let us continue to Zoom in, and if there's anyone that's having any issues in reference to coming in, we want to make sure that you understand that you can call the church office, you can call Sister Della Johnson, or you can call one of the media personnel as it relates to getting you straightened out, because most of you are coming in just fine and you finally got it figured out. You're doing a great job. I'm so happy for those of you who said, I can't deal with that technology, but you're coming right in on time and you're doing a great job. So let us continue to stay connected in that way. And certainly we're looking forward to also continuing in our drive-ups. We've got a few more scheduled this month as we make out an opportunity to go out to our senior members and those that we know we won't be able to see due to the pandemic situation. They are having health issues that are making it almost impossible for them to come out and be a part of the service and just basically go out anywhere. So we want to continue that, and certainly the care call is for Christ. We certainly want to continue making the calls to those members in that way as well. And listen, dears, we want you to all know that if there's anything that you certainly need any help with in this time, we know most of you probably have gotten back into a working mode, and hopefully, prayerfully, you haven't missed a beat in terms of too much as far as your expenses. But we certainly want you to know we're going to try to help you the best way we can in that way. Certainly we don't want nobody to have anything cut off. We don't want nobody to miss out on any expenses that needs to be taken care of and you were not able to work. So, that being said, I want to encourage all of you as we make ready for prayer. Let us be in prayer, certainly for this nation, this country. We're going through so much, and if we don't already have enough to deal with as it relates to this pandemic, and we're discovering now that over 19, 20 states have started to see an increase in COVID-19 cases, and certainly a lot of that has to be contributed to the fact of the reopening of so many of the businesses and opportunities in these states. And we certainly want to be in prayer that everyone will continue to be safe in the best way possible. And we're praying for those families who have lost loved ones as it relates to the COVID-19. I do believe the count is well above 108, 107,000, and is continuously climbing. And then also, we want to be in prayer for the many members of the Park Avenue Church family. We've lost 6 beautiful, wonderful members in this year so far, and we want to be in prayer certainly for the Riley family, the Haynes family, the Jordan family, the Gray family, the Liggins family, and then also several of our good preacher and pastors of this Kansas City area. Pastor Kenneth Ray of the Highland Baptist Church passed, and certainly everyone's aware and well known all over this world, Dr. Wallace Hartsfield of the Metropolitan Baptist Church. And so we want to continue to pray for those who have lost loved ones, the bereaved families. We're praying God's comfort upon you. And then there are so many who are still struggling with employment and trying to get unemployment benefits and relief funds. We're praying that that will change and things will get better for you in that way. We're praying for those of you that are making plans of going back to work. I know some of you have been working at home, and now many of you have been called back. We're praying that that transition will be a beautiful transition for you, and a lot of the young people are starting to find out that they will be going back to school in the fall, beginning as early as August, I do believe. So we're praying for all of these situations as it relates to reopening this country and starting afresh in every area of our economy. And then let us be in prayer certainly for all of those that are on our sick and shut-in list here at the Park Avenue Baptist Church. Sister Mary Childers, continue to be in prayer for Deacon Jerry Rice, as well as Deacon Preston Williams. We continue to pray for Sister Adela Galloway. I do believe she's home now. And we're going to pray for Sister Darlene Freeman, who's recovering from her surgery, and many, many more that are on our list. And we continue to ask God to heal and provide in that way. So as we make ready for prayer, we're going to ask that all of you, you may have a name, you may have a situation that you want to be in prayer for. This is a great time to go to the Lord as we make ready to go to the Lord in prayer. Our Heavenly Father, once more and again, just a few of your humble servants come before your heavenly throne, realizing that you're God and God all by yourself. We come first of all to say thank you. Thank you for your grace. Thank you for your mercy. Thank you for your loving kindness. Thank you for every good and perfect gift that you do provide. And Lord, before we go any further, we want you to know that we're sorry and we ask for your forgiveness. Please forgive us of all of our sins. Forgive us for all of our transgressions. Forgive us for all of our iniquities. Create in us now a clean heart and renew a right spirit within us. Help us, Lord, to love right. Help us, Lord, to live right. Help us, Lord, to learn right, as we should always be prepared to learn of Jesus through your holy and righteous word. Now, Lord, there's been many names called on the prayer list. And certainly, Lord, we know that we need your comfort For so many have gone on. So many have passed along this way. So many loved ones, Lord, have died as a result of this COVID-19 virus. Some have died, Lord, as a result of just natural causes. Some, Lord, have died because of accidents, certain incidents, Lord, but we pray now for comfort for those families, of all of them that have lost loved ones. We pray, Lord, that you will now bless the families as they move on to try to do the things that are necessary to keep on in your name. We pray, Lord, and we ask that you would be with Park Avenue Baptist Church, be with all of our churches as we make preparation to reopen, to set a new standard of worship, but it's all in your name. We pray, Lord, that the people will not be afraid to come to the house of prayer. We pray, Lord, that they will come back in a mighty way. Pray that they would come ready to worship you in spirit and in truth, and to lift up holy hands and give all the praise, glory, and honor to you. And then, Lord, we're just praying for every governor, every mayor, praying for all of these cities that are dealing with various protest situations. We're praying for peace. We're praying for that which is planned to accomplish will be accomplished in a fruitful way, not violent, not vandalism, but praying, Lord, that they may come to the table and reason together and work out the differences and make plans for a better, brighter today, tomorrow. Lord, we ask that you would be with our president. Touch him, Lord. I know sometimes, Lord, he makes conversations that seems that he has no concern for no one but himself. But we're praying, Lord, that you would touch him, touch his heart, give him a righteousness that will be about the people and not just about himself. We pray, Lord, and continue to lift up that family, the George Floyd family, and all of those family members, Lord, that have been affected by racism and violent police brutality. And we're praying for our children, Lord, that when they're out in the public, whether they're driving or riding or whether they're in a public affair, a public event, that they would be mindful of the laws and do the right things. And don't give the police an opportunity to share anything negative in how they're treated. We're praying for their safety. We're praying for our young people in that way. And then, Lord, we ask your blessings now upon the rest of this service. We pray, Lord, for the preached word. We pray, Lord, that the word will go forth and not return unto you void. We pray, Lord, that somebody's life will be changed. We pray, Lord, that somebody's life will be converted. Somebody will be convicted. We give you first place in their life. And then, Lord, we'll be ever so careful, always cautious. We give your name every bit of the praise, glory, and honor. So in the mighty name of Jesus the Christ, we pray this prayer, and for his name's sake, we ask it all. In the name of Jesus, amen. very words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart to be acceptable in thy sight. For Lord, you are my strength, and you surely are my Redeemer. And it's in that mighty name of Jesus Christ we pray. Amen. Amen. I want to direct your attention to the gospel this morning. The gospel as recorded by Mark. Mark chapter 12. Mark chapter 12, I want to commence reading with verse 28. Shall read down through verse 31. And then 1 Corinthians chapter 13. Beginning with verse number 4, we shall conclude with verse number 12. 1 Corinthians chapter 13, beginning with verse 4, and conclude with verse 12. Now I'm going to use that as a cross-reference to bring home my point today. But in your hearing, I want to read for you verses 28 through 31 in the gospel as recorded by St. Mark. Reading from the New King James Version, it reads, Then one of the scribes came, and having heard them reasoning together, perceiving that he had answered them well, asked him, Which is the first commandment of all? Jesus answered him, The first of all the commandments is, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. And you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength. This is the first commandment. And the second, like it, is this. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. There is no other commandment greater than these. I want to talk today about the great commandment. The great commandment. Dionne Warwick sang a song many years ago that it seems so fitting for right now in the days and times in which we live, considering all that's taking place in our government, in our communities, the protesting and all of the injustice and the inequality, racism, Black Lives Matter, and pandemics, COVID-19, and all the other issues that are taking place. She says, what the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for one, not just for some, but for everyone. And isn't that so true as it relates to the things that we're experiencing today? We need love. Love, sweet love. I want to share this particular passage of Scripture because in the time in which we live, it seems like there's so much hatred, so much animosity, so much negative, so much bigotry, so much unnecessary feelings that are not conducive of love, that are spreading and sharing, not only in our adults, but even in our children. And if we're not careful, our children will grow up with that same negativity, not really understanding the importance of loving one another. Jesus makes it very plain when he says the greatest commandment is love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, with all thy mind, with all thy strength. So my brothers and sisters, love, as we should know it, begins and starts with God. We must love the Lord. If we don't love the Lord, it's kind of hard to love anybody else. And it's so evident in a lot of situations and a lot of people as they behave and carry on right now, through, especially you see it through all of these protests. How can you say you love someone when you're doing the things that you're doing and saying the things that you're saying to one another? That's not love. Jesus makes it very plain in describing also that there's 4 different types of love that's used in the Greek. First one is eros. This is a physical love, a sexual love. We understand that that is one of the loves that is so profound as it relates to being a married spouse, loved ones in that way. And then there's phileo, tender affection for someone. It's an emotional love. You can have a great love and affection for others, loving them with all your heart and really have some good feelings towards them. And then storge, that's the love of things. And many people right today are falling in love with stuff over their own families, over their own children, over so many different relationships are filled with love of possessions and love of things. And then there's agape love. Agape love is where we're landing today. That's the kind of love that we need. That's the kind of love that we should have for one another. It's a never-ending love. It's an unchanging love. It's an all-consuming love. Agape love is not a haphazard love. It's an everlasting love. It's an unconditional love. An all-encompassing love. It's an intelligent love, a purposeful love, a committed love. And then Jesus makes it plain. He says, first you must love the Lord your God with all your heart, your soul, your mind, and your strength. Then he says in verse 31, and the second commandment is like this, just the same as the first. It says, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. Now, let me share something with you. Let's take a look at it from this perspective. In the English language, we speak in what we know as person. So if I am referring to myself, I will say, I am. This is what is known as first person. I am. If I were speaking to you and I might say, you are, this is the second person. Then if I was speaking of another, I might say, he is. That is known as the third person. So in the English language, we always have self first. You got that? But in the Hebrew language, it's just the opposite. First person says, he is. Second person says, you are. And the third person says, I am. which kind of creates the formula for joy, true joy in your life. Now, if I learn to place God first, Lord have mercy. If I learn to place God in the first person, place others in the second person, then I must be willing to place myself in the third person. Then our lives will truly be in order. That is what I look at as the true formula for joy. J, Jesus. O, others. Y, yourself. Now Matthew also speaks reference to this particular commandment, and Jesus says, all of the other commandments hang on these two. There is no other commandment greater than these. That is, if I love the Lord as I should, watch this, I will not sin against him. And if I love my neighbor as I should, neither will I ever offend them. When the love of God is present in your life as a believer, there will be love for the Savior, there will be love for the saints, there will be love for the Scripture, and there will even be love for the sanctuary. Listen, love forever gives. I'm just talking about love today. Love forever gives. Love forgives. Love outlives. Love forever stands. Love always opens hands, because while it is able for us to understand, we must have love in order to operate any kind of way in this world in which we live. Now, 1 Corinthians, in that 13th chapter, Paul sets down some descriptions of love. Love features in verses 4 through 6. He says this, that love is patient under provocation. In other words, love is long-tempered, not short-tempered. Love is kind. Genuine love is never hateful or mean. Love envieth not. Love is never jealous. Too much jealousy going on in our world today. Love does not vaunt itself. It literally means that it does not make a parade or brag or boast about anything. It does not have to be the center of attention. Love is not puffed up. Love is not arrogant, or is not anything of a proud nature. This love is humble, and it remembers where it was before grace found it. Love does not behave rudely, treats others with compassion and consideration and respect. Love seeketh not its own. Love is never selfish or self-centered. Love is not easily provoked. In other words, love keeps no record of the evils that have been done to it. Love thinketh no evil. Love does not attribute evil motives to people. In other words, we're not looking ways to get back at people or try to do harm to others, try to say things or do things. Love does not dwell on what others may have done to them. Love does not look for fault in others either. And I like to share this. It reads, it's natural to love them that love us, but it is supernatural to love them that hate us. Jesus, he parallels that same statement in Matthew chapter 5, verse 44, where Jesus says, love your enemy. Now that don't sound right. How you want me to love somebody that don't like me, that's after me, trying to do harm to me? But Jesus said, you can love. It's easy to love somebody who loves you, but you ought to love your enemies. He says, bless them that curse you. Do good to them that hate you. He says, pray for them that despitefully use and persecute you. And all of us, at some time or another, have experienced an opportunity to do just exactly what Jesus had written down and shared with us that we should be just like him in our behavior. Because once again, it's easy to love somebody who loves you. It's easy to be with somebody who treats you right. It's easy to be with somebody who's always doing exactly what you want them to do. But what about when the tables are turned? Love does not rejoice in sin. In other words, when you sin, you're not happy about it. Well, you're not supposed to be. If somebody else sins in your life against you, you're not supposed to be revengeful about it. Love does not gossip when another person or another believer falls. When someone goes through what they're going through, that's not the time to be downing them or saying negative things about them. That's not what love is all about. Love rejoices when the truth is told, and love is glad even when the truth hurts. Some people can't stand the truth. They don't like you no more when you tell them the truth. But that's not what love is. Love is even when the truth is told and it hurts you, you still have love one for another. Those are the features that Paul describes in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, but he also shares the fortitude of love. Love's fortitude, in other words, the power of love. There was a song about the power of love. I remember, I'm kind of going back in some of my days when I listened to some of these beautiful songs. They have a lot of good meaning if you really just sit down and listen to them. Luther Vandross wrote a song that says the power of love. Love beareth all things. Literally means it covers everything. And in Romans chapter 5 verse 8, this is how God loves. Just watch this. This is just how God loves. The verse says, God commanded his love toward us in that while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. And we were reconciled by his death, and we are saved by his life. Even when we were all messed up, and I know y'all don't want to admit it, y'all don't want to point no finger, no. The Bible didn't say y'all, it said all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. We've all have done some things in our past, and some of you are still doing things today that you know is not right. But the bottom line is, love beareth all things, covers up those things, and gives us an opportunity for reconciliation and repentance. Love not only beareth all things, but love believeth all things. Isn't it amazing how sometimes people are always spreading negative news? I just can't see myself being in a circle of people when everything they talk about and all they talk about is something of the negative nature. I just don't want to be around nobody that's always talking negative about this, negative about another person, negative about their job. If you don't like your job, quit your job. Get you another job that you'll be happy at. If you ain't happy with the person you're with, find you somebody you can be happy with. But don't talk negative and talk down about those people or situations. Love believeth all things. It's about being positive. Love hopeth all things. Love, watch this, always expects the best. And sometimes, even right now, it's easy to get bogged down and torn down to the point where you don't think that this is going to happen, this is going to get better, this is going to work out. But love, listen, hopeth all things. Love refuses to accept failure. Love refuses to be second about anything. Love makes things, lets us know that everything is going to work out fine. Love endureth all things. Love does not give up. And that's the worst thing you can do right now, is give up on anything in your life. This is a great opportunity for everyone to be successful. A lot of things have been made possible, and love bears the unbearable. Love believes the impossible, and love holds on to the incredible. And one of the things I know for sure, love will never fail. Love, when all else is gone, will never fail. It's the great constant throughout eternity. If our love is right, then our hope is in the right place. Of all the things that remain in the world, love is the greatest of them all. Love is the key. It's all about love. Love recognizes no barriers, no racial barriers. Love, it jumps hurdles. Love leaps fences. Love penetrates walls to arrive at its destination full of hope. Love is colorblind. Love cures people, both the ones who get it and the ones who receive it. Love is God, and God is love. And love is the greatest of all the commandments. And we need to understand, just like Jesus shared even in John chapter 13, before he made preparation to leave this earth, he told his disciples, love one another as I have loved you. And by this, many will know that you are my disciples because of your love one for another. And we all know that God loved us so much that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but they shall have everlasting life. And I want to encourage someone today, after hearing this brief message, as it relates to being more about love. If you do not know Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, if you haven't accepted him into your life, today is a golden opportunity to do just that. For God has made it possible through his Son Jesus, Christ, that we would have life and we can have it more abundantly. So if you are not saved, you can give your life to Jesus today. All you have to do is believe in your heart and confess with your mouth that God raised Jesus from the dead. Thou shalt be saved. And it's not a matter of where, not a matter of who. It's just a whosoever, and you can do it right there where you are. So if that is you, we certainly encourage you to give your life to Jesus. And if you've gone astray, if you set aside and Jesus Christ is no longer number one in your life, and you've gone astray and backslidden, we want you to know you can come back to the Lord. He'll receive you, but you must be ready to repent, must be ready to start a life brand new and stay on the course. If that is you, you can do that today as well.
A change has come over me. He took away all my sin and he made me whole. He washed me Oh, he changed my life complete, and now I sit at his feet to do what must be done. I'll work and work till he comes. A wonderful change. Saints, he changed my life complete. Oh yes, he did, and I'm glad. I don't walk the same. No, 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 no. I don't even talk the same because God, he picked me up, turned me around, placed my feet on solid ground. He broke every chain, broke every chain, y'all. God picked me up, picked me up. I said he picked me up. Oh, wonderful change. It's a wonderful change. Oh, wonderful change. He changed. One more time, the Lord picked me up, turned me around, place my feet on solid ground. Oh, wonderful.
Thank you, my brothers, and thank you, my sisters. Let us be mindful of one thing today. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. Now, may the grace of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, the love of God, and the communion of the Holy Spirit, may he rest and rule and abide with each and every one of us till we all meet again. Let every heart say together, amen.
Thank you for tuning in to our morning broadcast at the Park Avenue Missionary Baptist Church, where Gregory Stevens is the pastor. We appreciate your continued support, and please feel free to share this video with your family and friends across your social media pages. We would like to thank those who have continued to give as the Lord has blessed you, and remember, we have 5 convenient ways for you to pay your tithes and offering. You can use Vanco Online, GiveLify, the Cash App. You can call the office and request envelopes be mailed to you, or you can request a pickup. Also, for our members who do not have access to social media, we have CDs of the Sunday morning services available each Wednesday of the week. Please call the office at 816-861-1450 with questions or comments, or for prayer requests from our pastor. Remember to stay safe, stay sane, stay strong, and stay sanitized. We love you in Jesus' name. We'll see you Wednesday for Bible study.